call and say, sorry, Kyrie, can't be a part-time player with us. Should Brooklyn remain title favorites without the services of the seven-time All-Star? Josh Allen was lights out Sunday against the Chiefs. Sorry, Nick Wright. Is he now the MVP frontrunner through 5 weeks of the NFL season?
Give me a break.
Speaking of Nick Wright and Nick's Chiefs, where, oh, where will they land in the newest edition of NFL Tears? And with that, we say good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Broussard and Wilds, Nick Wright. You are a man of great integrity, Nick Wright. I hope that title is not in jeopardy today.
My and the committee's integrity not in jeopardy. However, there will be massive amounts of egg on Chris Broussard's face for some of the arrows he slung at the committee that was not forgotten on Monday. So just wait until 8 a.m. Eastern, you'll see the tears, because Broussard was talking awful spicy Monday. We don't forget.
I can't wait to see these tears. Can't
We're
wait.
already in hot water. We're not even a minute and a half in. We start off the show this morning here in New York City, where the Nets announced yesterday that Kyrie Irving will not be allowed to practice or play until he is eligible under New York City's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Or in other words, till he goes out and gets vaccinated. GM Sean Marks announced yesterday that part of the decision was a chemistry problem and that a part-time Kyrie doesn't fit in that equation. Marks met with the media and took it one step further. Take a listen.
The hope is that we have Kyrie back. You know, we'll welcome him back in open arms under a different set of circumstances. And so we need to wait and see how that transpires. But in the meantime, you know, we need to focus on the 16 players that are going to be on this roster moving forward, you know, with us, including our two-ways. So the focus needs to be with them, and our goals have not changed. You know, the goals, ultimately still are to be the last team standing, and that's where we're going to be. And without a doubt, losing a player of Kyrie's caliber hurts from a talent perspective, no question. I'm not going to deny that. But at the end of the day, our focus, our coaches' focus, the organization's focus needs to be on those players that are going to be involved here and participating fully.
All right, so Shams also had this in The Athletic. He said multiple sources with direct knowledge of Irving's decision have told The Athletic that Kyrie Irving is not anti-vaccine and that his stance is that he's upset that people are losing their jobs due to vaccine mandates. It thrills Nick to no end. It is a stance that Irving has explained to close teammates, saying Kyrie wants to be a voice for the voiceless, one source said.
Said
All
an
right, so Nick, after what felt like a lot of back and forth, right, waiting to see what Kyrie would do, waiting to see how the Nets would respond, they finally take this stance. No vaccine, no basketball, Kyrie. What do you make of all this?
Yeah. All right, I'll deal with the Shams article later, but let's deal with the Nets' decision first. Broussard said it. I agreed with him when he said it. This was the only move the Nets had. You can't be halfway in. You can't try to... Maybe chemistry and continuity is slightly overrated, but it's not nothing. It's not meaningless. And the Nets understood it. And understood that we cannot have a guy floating in and out. And it was being reported as here for 41 games, but it wouldn't have been 41. Kyrie's not going to miss any games that he's eligible for. Give me a break. Like, he'll be here for 30-ish games, practices maybe, and then, usually, 30 to 40% of our playoff series. That's the Kyrie Irving experience to go along with 50, 40, 90, the greatest layup package ever, and arguably the greatest handle ever. That's all one big stew that you take the good and the bad with. This was step one of what the Nets had to do. And I'll get to step two in a second, but a few weeks ago when I reported that Kyrie Irving, when he was informed or made aware of the fact that he was being shopped, made it clear to anyone who would listen he would retire if he were traded. I was informed of something else that day as well, but I didn't report it because I didn't feel like I had it fully locked down. Kevin Wildes off the air was like, buddy, better to be right than first. Let's journalism 101. And so I'm like, all right. And what I was told then is that when the Nets were shopping Kyrie, KD said, okay, I'm fine with that. And I didn't report it at the time, but to me, this move confirms that. Because they do not do this if Kevin Durant says, do not do this. But Kevin Durant understood what Broussard understood, what I understood, which is you can't win this way. With Harden and Kevin Durant, if you get the right breaks, you can go win the title. That's better than the alternative. But this is, to me, Broussard, only step one. Step two for the Nets, if they really want to turn the page, is find a team that is not turned off by Kyrie's threat to retire and trade him. And there are trades out there that'll work. You're going to end up getting 30 cents on the dollar, but the Nets actually maybe could use some coins instead of a dollar bill. They maybe could use Marcus Morris and, from the Clippers, you could do Morris, Batum, and Reggie Jackson for Kyrie Irving. And the LA Vax mandate's weird. Staples Center says it's exempt for it because the Nets don't need stars and scorers. They need role players. If you wanted to do a 1-for-1 and you want to send them a place you know will never have a vaccine mandate, how about the state of Texas? How about your kind of problem for my kind of problem? Kyrie for Kristaps. That's interesting. Hey, Kyrie, you won a championship playing with LeBron. Luka's the closest thing we've ever had to LeBron as far as stylistically. I would at least listen. I think that's intriguing. I would call the Jonas Valanciunas, Josh Hart, Devontae Graham for Kyrie. I would call. Because what the Nets need is role players and lack of distractions. Now, you're not going to get Ben Simmons, Broussard. That's gone. That is somehow Kyrie has made it to where his value is precipitously lower than Ben Simmons. It's an amazing magic trick he pulled, but he's done it. But step one was sending him home. Step two is trading him. And from what I've been told and from this, you're not going to get pushback from Harden and Kevin Durant if you do that. But you just have to find a team that isn't threatened by the fact that he has said, I'll retire if you trade me.
Wow, you said a lot there, Nick. First of all, as you said, I did say this a week and a half ago, that this is what the Nets should do. Give Kyrie a COVID exemption, send him away. As far as your trade proposals, the Clippers wouldn't actually make sense for the Nets because, you get a lot of depth there. You get some defense with Batum, Reggie Jackson. We know what he can do off the bench. Marcus Morris is tough. That's not bad. I don't think the Clippers would do it, though. When Kyrie was a free agent with Kevin Durant, there were a lot of teams around the league that wouldn't touch Kyrie even then by himself. Now, they would have taken him to get Kevin Durant, but like the Nets did. But a lot of teams didn't want Kyrie by himself. I don't think that the Clippers do that. Dallas is interesting. I don't know that the Nets do it for Kristaps. I mean, like you said, they're not getting anything from Kyrie, so maybe they do any move whatsoever. That's somewhat interesting. And I think a team you left out, Oklahoma City. We know that they're known for taking on bad contracts that could be expiring, and Kyrie could be off the books after this season. So that's a possibility as well. I want to address what Shams Charania wrote in The Athletic. I think it's spin. And here's why. Kyrie said, or it's said on behalf of Kyrie, according to sources close to him, that he wants to be a voice for the voiceless. I can't believe that because Kyrie doesn't use his voice. Kyrie hasn't said a word, and when he did speak in the Zoom meeting, he kept saying, please respect my privacy. If he had come out in that meeting and said, look, I exactly what was in the article, I'm not anti-vaccination, but I don't like the fact that people are losing their jobs because they're not vaccinated. Could be a prime example of that. I'm not losing my job, but, not allowed to play.